I wish we could all be in person, but happy to show my New York wineries how you can work from home, especially, this past year. It's been even more relevant and important to be able to really use digital tools and be able to, reach an audience that you normally would be trying to reach out in the market. So with that, I'll give you all a little background on 750, just about how it works, so you can make sense of the whole network, and also take you through some of the different parts of the platform, so you can kind of put it all together visually. And then, yeah, we can talk about costs and how you can really leverage the site. So first and foremost, to just kind of explain how 750 really works and what our network is. We are the largest online marketplace and network for the trade. It is only trade members. This isn't consumer facing, but we've got over 1,000 distributors that we work with, and that is really the core of where 750 gets our data. Like, if you want to kind of think of us as the data company, it's definitely accurate, because we work with distributors across the country to pull in their products from their internal systems typically, or they're sending us files. So we're taking all their data and we're listing them in a very comprehensive way with enriched content for not only the distributor reps to use, which I used every single day when I was a rep, but they can access their own information, educate themselves, connect with buyers. It's a really easy tool to have all this information accessible even on their phones. But then also, of course, for the 90,000 plus buyers in our network to be able to access product information in their own market, be able to understand who carries what, if it's available in their market, but also shop online wholesale. They can hit add to cart on all these products and send orders directly to their reps. So with that, it opened up for producers like yourselves to come in here and kind of speak the same language as buyers and distributors. They're used to the 750 format, and so it's a great place for producers to control all of your brand content, add marketing materials, really boost your presence with the trade, because this is where these reps are, this is where the buyers are. So you have such a strong reach digitally to this whole network. And as I mentioned, this past year, with everyone having to make that shift to digital, we saw the same thing on 750. In March 2020, we saw a 48% increase in off-premise orders coming through the site. So we would see a handful of buyers in the past would still use 750 as kind of their go-to resource database to find products and product info. But as we all were kind of stuck at home, the buyers, I think, realized, they're not going to see their reps that week, and they could push a button and it will send the order right to them. So we started seeing a lot more activity there, of course, with off-premise more than on in the past year. But typically, just to give you an idea, our buyer base is it used to be about 60% on-premise, 40 off, and that's evened out now. And the more active users have been the off-premise as of the last year. In New York specifically, we've got about 13,000 buyers, a little more than that, over 13,000. And this includes any type of on or off-premise retailer. So it would be, anything from a high-end restaurant, mom and pop wine shop, chains like Whole Foods. So you really get a big mix here, because even like when I walk into a wine shop or a liquor store, the buyers there are like, oh, I was just on 750. They're browsing through all the time because it's just their go-to now to find product information, see what's new. So New York especially, I mean, that's our home base, where 750 started. So we're pretty established there, and it's definitely where you get a lot of buyers' eyes, and you can get your products in front of them. So with that, I will take you to the buyer side of the platform first. I like to just show from a retailer's perspective, so you can really understand the end user and how what you do will affect what they see. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right, I am logged in. Oh, sorry, that is the wrong screen. Give me 1 second. Okay, here's the right one. I'm logged in as a buyer in Manhattan. So I am a on-premise restaurant. This is my homepage. And this is where it's kind of just like a quick overview of what's going on in the trade 750 world. So any of my orders will be right here. Then I've got any new distributors or self-distributing producers will be featured here. And then we'll feature this here for like a few weeks. So if any of you end up joining, you'll be featured here, which is great. It's practically advertising. Then we have some actual advertising here. We have an events calendar where you can list virtual events, and we can talk more about that. Of course, those used to be a lot of tasting events that were market specific, but now there's really no limitation to virtual attendance by location. So we've got virtual events nationally here. And then these are product lists, which you may have seen in the past from maybe some distributor reps when they have those sell sheets. Buyers and suppliers, everyone on 750 is able to create product lists where it's just a clean presentation of products that you can save for yourself or share with others. And I'll show you more about that. But this search page is really where buyers are spending time. And this is where our technology really comes into play, because all of these categories are what we use when we take in this product data from distributors. So in New York, we've got all these distributors sending us their product data, their portfolios. And so we associate each one with categories to power this. That way buyers can come in and say, okay, I'm looking to fill a shelf space, or I'm looking for something new on the list. And they know they're looking for something from New York, or maybe they've heard of a producer and they want to see if it's available here. They can search here as basic as wine from New York, from the US, and then do New York. And they can keep going down and get really granular, like what it's made of, the subregions, appellations. They can keep breaking anything down. And as you can see now here, this is really just an e-commerce experience where they can go ahead and add to cart or message the rep. They're also able to just freehand type anything in. So I'll just show you one New York winery that does work with us already. And they've got some good pages up here. All right, so Dr. Constantine Frank, this is if a buyer was searching for this wine or came across the correct categories, this is what would come up. And it's really simple. It's like shopping online. If they add to cart here or message rep, it would go right to that specific rep at Empire Merchants. And so that rep gets an email, they get a notification, and they're able to confirm or upsell or make suggestions, but it's all in their hands. So the way that this would work if you're self-distributing is, being that it wouldn't be Empire, it would just be your brand. So what we do is the 3 access points of 750 are buyer, distributor, supplier, and we would give you the distributor and supplier access. So just like Empire, you would have full access to all the distributor sales tools and the ability to list your products in New York. And we have packages that we put together specifically for this, for self-distributing producers, where they're more cost effective. They're not paying as much as Empire, but you have all the capabilities. And we set this up in a way where you're able to kind of more manually list your products and make the price updates per month if they're changing. So that way you have full control, and we provide all the support, but it's a little less labor that we're not pulling in all these files with thousands of SKUs. So the way that it would work is that your products would be listed here in New York. Buyers would be able to find you, add to cart, send you orders, send you messages, but it would go straight to the email that you provide. So you'd be acting as distributor here. And then beyond the product info, which you're able to fully control in terms of image and description, I should mention, even if you're working with other distributors in other states, or even in New York, as a supplier on 750, you have full control of the brand content. So this would be in regards to image and description of the product. The other place for content is this brand profile. So as a buyer searches, they'll see this brand profile button on each product. And this is what they'll find. It's where you can put a lot more marketing materials, anything to really represent the brand, tell the story, but also give technical information, accolades, POS. So this is their profile. They also have the Salmon Run brand, so I can show you what they've done there. They put some images. This is a good place, I would say, to use this in a couple different ways. One, of course, is for the technical info, but the other really for the brand story and getting new buyers intrigued who may not know your brand. So put images there, put stuff about the winemaker, anything that really tells your brand story, because this is where buyers will discover the brand and look for more information. But also, this is where reps are going to come here and access this and pull anything that they need. So they'll be self-educating here as well. I can just show you a couple more examples. What's cool about these files too is you're in complete control of this profile. It's totally custom, and you'll be able to set permissions on each file. So it will either be my distributors, meaning distributors you work with. So if there are a few on 750 that you're already working with, those reps will access whatever you set permissions here. Then the other is 750 logins, meaning anyone trade, buyer, distributor, supplier. So buyers will be able to see it. Distributors who you don't work with, who might discover you and are looking for new brands, they can see the stuff here. And then the other is public. And public is great because all you have to do is grab this link and send it to anybody that you want, and they will be able to see the public version of this page. So if anything is not, too trade sensitive, you can put it on public, and you can use this as your brand page and use it elsewhere, even outside of 750. The other place that a buyer is finding your brand is in this supplier index. So we have the search area where they're looking for products, and then also the supplier index. And this is where we list all the profiles. So it's very easy for them to just sort through or go directly, again, to look for the profile right away. And these are cool because the more that you update them, the more they go to the top. The default sort is by recency. And then just so you know as well, from a buyer's perspective or a distributor's perspective, they have this same view of this supplier index. A buyer will see all those available in their market, and they can save previously ordered brands so they can access that quickly. A distributor can do the same. They'll be able to see everything, but then also it will say my suppliers, so they can just get to you quickly too. If you are self-distributing, as I'm sure most of you are on this call, you'll have the access as a distributor to see this whole thing, just as any other distributor would. So that is, I would say, the gist of it on the buyer side. The other thing that we do offer to boost your brand presence here is advertising. So you saw on the homepage, there were a couple of ads, but if that's something you're interested in, we can send more information. We don't have to dive into it right now, but this is where we would place one of your ads if you were interested in that. It's custom, it's super easy, it's pretty streamlined. We set these up like subscriptions, so that way you have your platform subscription and then your ads that you can get discounts on as a subscriber and execute at any point throughout the year. And the cool thing about these is that you're able to customize the text and image. We put it up for you. And then the call to action button is what will bring the buyer right to your products. So it's always finding ways to bring the buyer right to all your product info where they can take an action and place orders. Okay.
Gia, I didn't know if this was an okay place to stop you and just point out a couple questions that have been coming in.
Sure.
Pardon me if this has been answered, but what percentage of sales come from self-distributors?
I don't have that answer. I'm sorry, I wish I did. I don't have the
Sure.
percentage of ordering here. Sorry.
Is it I could ask we might be able to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get that.
Okay.
Yes, we have a lot of data in here. We just need to pull it in a
Sure. Great
good way to
question,
share
though.
it. Yeah, for
It
sure.
gives us a good sense of, how many folks are using it that do it themselves, for sure.
Definitely.
So I don't know if you can see this one. We have a distributor in the New York City metro area, Long Island, and Hudson Valley, but we self-distribute for the rest of the state. Is it possible to segment the market into territories for a supplier? For example, distributor A offers product in this area, distributor B offers outside in others.
Yes, we can definitely do that, and we do that already. We'll set it up by zones, basically. So, but I think we do it by zip code is the way that we determine. So that way buyers also are signing up with their liquor license and their zip codes. So that way everything that they see will be only their market. And then whatever you're selling, you'll know that only those buyers are going to be seeing the products. It won't, they'll never see the two products with different prices or something. So you'll be good. Of course. Okay, if no other questions right now, I'll move us to the login as a producer that you would have, so you can just get an idea there. And I know this probably seems like a lot of information too, so just for peace of mind, don't be overwhelmed by it. We can always do a direct call and go over like exactly your brand and how you would set up. But we also provide training for all of the functionality. We provide ongoing support. So I just wanted to at least give you a taste of how this all works, but once you sign up, we'll go through step by step of how to really use it. Okay, so I am now logged in as a supplier, and this is just my demo account. But what you would have right away is national access to the marketplace. So this is really cool for not only your home market, but to see other states if you're looking to expand and work with new distribution. Or if you already do, it's a great place to see who your competitors are. You can use this as creatively as you want for any of your strategy and research. And the difference here is buyers and distributors can only see their home markets. So as a producer, you have this national access to look through all states. And this basically gives you the eyes of a buyer, minus the add to cart feature, but you are able to look through everything available in the market with wholesale pricing from that distributor. You'll see all the information here, and you can break things down, put in your own categories, and then switch states to see, what you're working with in each state. Of course, you'll be able to see your own products and how they're represented market by market. Go straight to the distributor tab to see all the distributors we work with in that state. And this will bring you right to their profile as well as portfolio. So you can browse through everything. So this is a great resource, good go-to for looking up anything on the fly, or really digging in and doing your research. Then once you sign up with us as well, you'll have an internal view of your own products. And the way that they get here is when you sign up with us, we'll just send you a templated Excel sheet and a form to fill out, which will be your company information and product information. We'll upload it for you for the first time, and then you'll be able to just log in and make all of your edits. And like I said, you're going to have the two access points, so distributor and producer, which you'll be able to click here and go back and forth between the two. So right now I'm in the producer supplier section. And this is like, once your products are all uploaded, to make your edits, you'll probably want to just come here because this is an aggregated view now. So whether or not you're working with multiple distributors in other states, what our data team does when you sign up is they look at all of your products, they make sure they fit the standards with the way that we list things on 750, make sure it's all accurate and looks good. They give it the appropriate categories to power that search. And then you'll have this internal view here to see just your products in an aggregated view. So we call these national product records. Now this is the true source of information for your products in the land of 750. So even if you started to work with a new distributor like this, we would match their data to this. So now you have the full authority of your brand content and your products. So that you'll know anyone on 750 buyers or distributors are seeing information that comes directly from you. And you're able to click on each product, make your edits, image, description, text sheet. And then whether it's just you self-distributing or you work with more distributors, all the information on that product is going to be here, down to the SKU number, price, location. And back to your question about the zoning, if you're in different areas of New York, you can see here we have some stuff split up, like Greater New York Metro, Northern, Southern Nevada. So we can easily split it up even more for you. Then when it comes,
Val, again,
yeah.
Sorry, real quick, I don't want to interrupt, but
No, do it.
question about posting your wine, or listing your wines. How do limited availability wines work? So if your price posted in New York is something that's allocated, how is that managed on 750?
Right, that is a very good question too. Typically, I think you can, I'm not as well versed on the distributor side of things. You'll have a call with someone who is once you're set up. Okay. But I believe you can hide pricing, or there are certain features that allows you to hide things. So if it's something that you wouldn't want shown, maybe with pricing or with availability, you can put a setting there. And I'm really sorry that I can't fully answer that question better, but there is something that you can do to make sure that it's not looking like it's available for everyone.
Thanks. And I think that there's another question that came in before you get started again, and maybe this is a question for, if you go down this road when you have your call. But the last time this person is saying they did research, producers could obtain licenses to ship direct to restaurants and retailers in Ohio and Oregon. Is that still the case, or has that expanded or contracted in any way?
Oh, I'm not familiar with that. But if you have that, I don't know about how obtaining the licenses works, but if you have that, you can also list your products on 750 in those states. And Val, we talked about this before.
Right.
We're right now, talking New York, but this isn't limited to New York. So if you are self-distributing in New York, but you also maybe are working with a clearinghouse in another state, or however you have it, you have licensing, distribution licensing in, let's say, New Jersey, then we are able to also give you access to New Jersey to list your products there and connect with buyers there. So this isn't limited. As long as you have the licensing, you can be in any state on 750.
Thanks.
And I'll try the two questions that I didn't have great answers for. I'll get them and report back.
Perfect. Thanks. Sorry for that interruption there.
All good. All right. So that is how it works on the product level. And then when it comes to the content, this is like the back end. And you would have the ability here to create a company profile and then a brand profile. So if you have kind of sub brands or one, it doesn't matter. I just have multiple in my demo account, but the brand profile is where you're really putting in a lot of the content. So to just show you an example of the back end view, this is how you can set it up, all of your social, any links to videos or whatever you'd want to show. And then here are the file uploads. So you can set those permissions, as I mentioned before. And then if you'd want to share this with anyone, you can just copy and paste this link. It's that easy. So then this is the producer side. Distributor side, let me just go back to that for you. Don't mind me on the back end here. But what you'll be able to do once you're signed up is just switch back and forth really easily from producer to distributor. This is the distributor login, and there's a lot you can dive into here. Like I said, when you are ready to sign up, or if you have more questions, I would get an expert on my team to help with training and all of that. But to give you kind of a brief overview of this, this is the homepage. When you do upload new products, our data team looks at them, makes sure they're good, and then makes them live. So you'll be able to check the status of everything here. Of course, you have your orders that come in, you'll be notified. Then you have accounts that you're able to match with buyers here. So we don't provide any buyer contact information, but we do have this whole database of vetted trade buyers with their liquor licenses. So you're able to search through in New York to see if you can look it up by address, name, or liquor license, and you'll be able to see if they're on 750. And then the way you'd connect with them is you would just need an email to connect, or a buyer can find you and connect directly too. So you'll get notifications about buyers who want to connect with you. And it's really cool. I used to love when buyers would use 750 to send me anything, because they're able to send in their account application in 1 second. Like, we just have a standard one on 750 that they fill out when they sign up. You can ask for more info too if you need it on here, but you'll be able to get that general information really quickly in just a click. And it's, it doesn't take time from the buyer either, because it's already there. So I remember when being a rep, that could be a 2-week process sometimes, and it was actual paper, and this made it so easy. Then of course they can send you orders through here, and the buyer can approach you very easily. You can connect with them, like I said, proactively. You would just have to have their email to send them a notification. But then it's cool because you do have other tools in here, like an account map. You can upload all of your accounts here in one shot if you wanted to. Verify accounts just simply means a buyer's trying to connect with you and you can verify it. And then you have that supplier index access too, how we were just looking at from the buyer's view. Now this is from your view as a distributor. So it's just cool because you have, even though you won't be working with multiple brands like a traditional distributor does, you'll be able to still see what they see and understand who's in the market, and kind of see what brands are out here and what they're doing. And then presentations. This one is huge because these are the sales tools. This is where you can create a sample sheet to track your samples, tag accounts. So if you're going out this day, you'd be able to just say, okay, these are the products. All your product info is going to be here already. It's going to be looking great with all the right information and pricing. So all you have to do is click and add your products to this. You can tag accounts. They could, you could share this with them or not. This could be very just internal for your own notes. But it's really great to track, who tasted what, record reactions, and then of course share with buyers if you want to pass this along. And then lists was one of my favorite, and honestly it still is. This you can do either from the distributor side here or the supplier side. Either way, this is what you've probably seen out in the markets before. Like, distributor reps always have these sales presentations that they're making. And I used to print them out when I was in person, but I would always also send it digitally. So to just show you one I've made, if this looks familiar, this is what you're able to create. It takes 2 seconds. You just add the products in, you can add price quotes. So this is great for like a follow-up, or when you're, just prepping for a meeting, but really easy to share as a PDF. And then sharing it with a link to digitally creates an order form. So this is what I love. If you just copied the link, you can text this or email it to your buyer. And I'm going to show you what they see. It would come up like this. So I had a tasting, or I had a phone call with the buyer. This is what they're interested in. I put all my custom notes. I could have price quotes if that's what we discussed. And then they just have an order form. So this, all in all, could be a 5-minute situation where you got that order because there was no lag of time, no lack of information. It's all right here. So this is one of my favorite tools that you can definitely utilize. And now back to the distributor login. Like I mentioned, you'll be able to go from distributor to supplier. So you have this kind of local New York distributor access with all your sales tools, and being able to connect with accounts, buyer reactions. This is the local distributor side. And then you're able to switch over just right from here to the national side, where then you can browse in all states and control all of your brand content in the profile and nationally by your products. So again, that's kind of a lot of functionality in there that we can definitely dive into once you're ready to get started on here. But the takeaway, the big takeaway is that I think the biggest value of 750 is the accessibility and the buyer audience. Distributor audience too, if you are looking for distribution. But as a self-distributing winery in New York, we have a big buyer audience in New York. I know that they use it. I can tell you that personally, not just because I work here, I've seen it. They are very active on 750, and this is a really great way to capture that interest and be in front of them, especially while we're still limited in being in person.
And Gia, before you talk about next steps and process, I just wanted to point out like the connection here, you know, if wineries are already thinking about using 750, you know, for their self-distributed winery, it's also, their listing is also going to be boosted by, you know, the things that we're doing. So the advertising and the sponsored content and the event listings that the foundation is doing, pointing buyers to their listing. So I just wanted to add that in there. If they're already considering doing it, that's another connection.
Absolutely. And I would say it goes the other way too. Definitely a great time to maximize on what you're doing, because you are going to be providing so much support in terms of boosting the presence of New York wineries on 750. So if your products are here, it's a great opportunity to capture that. All right, so if there's no questions right now, just talking next steps, I will have Val send you all a one sheet that kind of covers the access that we went over. Now, pricing and everything. If you want to get started with the self-distributing package, that means you get the distributor access and the supplier access. We put this package together specifically for self-distributing producers where we saw a need for these two access points, but we weren't about to charge you know, New York winery the same price that we're charging Empire to get onto the distributor platform. So we put this package together where you'll have, if you have about 25 SKUs, this fits because you're able to then manually upload your products and make your updates. And one market, meaning New York in this case, it's $250 a month for everything we just went over. If you are also distributing in another market, it's $50 a month per additional market. So let's say we're doing New York and New Jersey, that'd be $300 a month. This is all month to month, so there's no commitment, but of course I would suggest, you know, you give it a fair try because the more you use 750, the more you'll get out of it. And we do offer a 10% discount for an annual. So you can do month to month or an annual up front and you'll get 10% off. And to get started, I would just say, reach out to me and I can manually set you up on the back end, get your login. You can put 5 people on the account. That's what comes with that pricing. If you want more, you can just let me know how many more and I'll get you a price quote. But typically a new user is $25 a month. And let's see, that's about it. Once you're ready to go, I would just set up the accounts. I'll send you a digital form and Excel sheet for you to just give us the info. We'll do the initial upload for setup. And then we schedule training, make everything live, and then you are ready to go.
Thanks, Gia. I think we do have a couple more minutes for questions. If people do have them for your specific case or just in general, we're happy to take them. While those are coming in, we're going to make sure that we download this recording. We'll get it out to folks so that you can listen to it, maybe listen to it with your marketing team and decide whether or not you want to pursue this. And I know Gia will be in touch too about other opportunities for New York Wine and Grape Foundation members in the future. So thanks for putting your contact information in there.
Definitely. Yes. I just put my meeting link and email in there. So you can go ahead and schedule a meeting with me if that's easier, just from that link. I'm also going to put in here, we do have a free subscription for producers. If you don't have any of your products listed on the site, there's not a whole lot of functionality, but so I don't want to disappoint, but I'm sending you the link here. Feel free to sign up for the free one. You still have national access, so you can still check out distributor portfolios and other products. It's still really useful, at least to start. So that's the link for the free version.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And great question just came in from Dan. So for the prices that we were just quoted, what kind of support would be included after the initial training and upload?
Right. After the initial training, we have plenty of training resources. We have tons of videos and references for you to, if you're, wanting to just brush up on one function, very easy to reference all of our resources. We also do training webinars every week, so you can hop on one of those, or especially if like a new team member is going to start using 750, you can give them that link. But then we're always here too, of course. If you ever need a more direct call or have a specific question, you can reach out to me, or my colleague Kristen does a lot of the customer success, as well as our whole support team. You can email them directly as well.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask, are you kind of assigned someone to help you through the process, or is it just reaching out to you if you need that direct kind of one-on-one help?
Yeah, I would reach out to either me or my colleague Kristen, which you'll have her email once we're getting started. And then if it's more of a technical question, the support team is usually better. So sometimes I'll even ask them.
Sure.
But yeah, it kind of just depends. But if you feel like, you can't find your answer in a webinar or the links that I send you, then of course you can just send me an email.
Perfect. So, and we'll get back to the folks here with the answers to those questions.
Yes.
In regard to, percentage that are selling that are self-distributed. And I think there was another one, I have it here. So I'll send those your way, Gia, just so we make sure not to lose the thread. So
thank you. Perfect.
No problem. Well, thank you everybody for attending. I'm not seeing any other questions coming through. Thank you, Gia, for your time. Hopefully we get to connect with you again soon. We'll follow up with everybody. And hopefully if anybody has any questions, you've got Gia's contact information. So thanks for your time, Gia, and thanks for attending, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Have a
Bye,
great
everyone.
day.
Thanks so much.